Today I'm going to talk about my Hyrox Taiwan reflection, some pre-race training as well as post-race thoughts. So after last race in September last year, I went into full-on off-season mode. From September to December, I ate more, focused on muscle building and strength, and just had fun with training. I bulked to around 80 kg, which felt great in the gym, but not so much on the track. Running at that weight, let's just say I felt every step. Then came Hyrox Hong Kong in November, my heaviest race to date. I struggled to hold a 4:30 pace and felt like I was dragging a piano behind me every lap. Luckily, it was a mixed doubles race, so I got mini breaks between stations, and despite the suffering, my partner and I placed 6th, and a few weeks later, we got an email to say that we qualified for World Champs in Chicago 2025. No brainer, we were in, of course pending my wife's blessing. Of course, shout out to all the supportive partners everywhere. But it just wasn't about booking flights. The journey to Chicago meant ramping up training, dialing in nutrition, and dealing with logistics and price tags of racing in the US. I knew I needed a tune-up race to check my progress before Worlds. I looked at Shanghai and Taiwan. Shanghai seemed less crowded, but a ticketing glitch foiled those plans. So Taiwan it was. I committed to 14 weeks of solid training, starting right after New Year's. For the first time, I followed a structured program. It focused heavily on pacing, aerobic base building, and race-specific workouts. Fewer upper body lifts, more long runs, and lots of compromise sessions. So shout out to anyone who ever done a row slack combo and lived to tell the tale. Training sessions averaged 90 minutes, so race day didn't feel as intimidating. I also had access to multiple gyms, which meant full setup and empty floors during off-peak hours. It was a game changer. Side note, you don't need fancy facilities or 2-hour training windows to train well. The principle is simple. Train smart, not just hard. Build consistency, recover well, and always ask, is this the most efficient way to move? I also dialed in my recovery game, daily creatine and protein, lots of stretching and foam rolling. I basically live on my foam roller now. And even took a myofascial release course to better understand my body. This race prep wasn't just about working harder, it was about working smarter. Then came race week, some storms, snacks, and skipped warm-up. Now, taper week hit and I was feeling great. Final hard session was on Wednesday. I got a sports massage after. With minimal saunas, I was ready by Friday. Then chaos. I had planned a shakeout run the morning of my flight. Alarm set at 6:30 AM only to be greeted by full-blown storm. Back to bed I went and I woke up again with barely enough time, but I knew I feel off all day if I skipped it. So I shot back the espresso, squeezed in a quick 20 minutes run, showered and dashed to the airport. I had a quick meal, didn't buy a snack, and since it was a budget flight, I starved by 3 PM. So I gave in and bought a set $15 budget meal. And I landed in Taiwan at 4:40 PM. I sprinted through customs, skipped buying water, which I regret, and got caught in brutal traffic en route to the hotel. I finally checked in, got the water, and rushed to the airport expo for registration and grabbed a big dinner at the night market. Then back to the hotel, foam road, and crashed for the night. Race morning, I set my alarm at 6:30. I ate a light breakfast which consists of carbs with no dairy. I grabbed a slice of toast for the road and got to the venue about an hour before my race. And note to future me and you, if you want to buy merchandise, get there early. I queued for 30 plus minutes, which cuts into my warm-up time. Then came race time. I had some pre-race ritual that I do, which is the first is to down my pre-workout 30 minutes out, gel at 15 minutes, and slap on a nasal strip to prevent ear blocks. Chest strap was also on with a t-shirt on. I started near the back, planning to pace the first run, maybe a little too much. I hit the skill nearly last in my wave, and I checked my watch. Oh my goodness, zone 5. I never feel like this before, but since I felt great, I pushed on. Machines are my jam. I cranked out the skill in 4:04, 13 out of 691 participants. Second run felt smooth too, then came sledge push. Despite all the prep, this one crushed me. I took 3 breaks in one length, which never happened. Taiwan sled push was my worst ever. So I pray for standardized carpets at all venue ASAP, but thankfully my run after wasn't affected. My legs held up. Then came sled pull. I braced for pain, but surprise, personal best. My technique tweaks and consistent training paid off. Then came burpee broad jumps, always the heart rate killer, and I no more heart rate left to spike into, so I went on autopilot. Slower than usual, but it paid off during the next run because I managed to take my gel, still be faster than all my other previous runs. So row work, another favorite. I was placed 10th overall. Farmer's carry, personal best again, and I finally managed to go unbroken over 200 meters by changing how I grip the kettlebell. And even better yet, I negative split the farmer's carry lap. Lunges, autopilot again, I got another PB and I felt really strong for my last run. Then came wall balls. my eternal nemesis. I aim for unbroken, but let's be honest, I have never done that even when fresh. Judges didn't count reps out loud, no display screens, and lots of confusion. I had to stop and ask for my rep count a couple times, and my arms were done. I finished with 50 straight and then broke the rest into sets of 10, an absolute sufferfest. Thankfully, friends were cheering me on and carried me through those final reps, and I crossed the line in 109.58, just 9 seconds slower than my previous personal best. It was a bittersweet experience. I was happy to stay under 110, but low-key disappointed because I did not break my record. So some final thoughts, what lessons I learned, and gratitude. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to race in Taiwan, especially with my wife holding down the fort back home. And I shout out to my racing buddy who crushed it too. It was a solid race, an amazing experience, and gave me a clearer picture of where I'm at. I still have lots to work on, especially sled push, compromised runs after burpee, and wall balls, obviously. But we are trending in the right direction, therefore onward to Chicago. And that's all my reflection for today. Cheers and bye bye.